Welcome to this week's Game News Show, the weekly. Well, it's Game News Live now. It's got a new name. We're Game News Live. So anyway, welcome to Game News Live, live show on Twitch and YouTube where we talk about game news. It's posted to YouTube later for you to watch with maybe a little more editing. But anyway, let's jump into this week's stories. Mario Kart 8's DLC came out and revealed that, hey, there's going to be more characters on the way. We got Birdo, and then we got this screenshot up here. Now that Birdo's added, there's a bunch of question marks. What is that, 5 new characters coming between the next 2 or 3 waves of DLC? That's pretty cool. I just wonder if they're going to re-release Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all the DLC on the Switch 2 as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus and Knuckles. I mean, it's bound to happen, right? Anyway, moving on. Last week, we also got the final trailer before the release of the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is great and looks great, and I'm really excited for this film. I'm excited to go see it with my kid. I'm excited to go see it for all the little Easter eggs. If you haven't watched the trailer, it's pretty great. The animation is it's better than I could have ever imagined it being, especially considering that when they announced this movie, all I knew Illumination for was making Minions movies, and that's not my jam. So anyway, yeah, movie trailer looks great. Another little story to talk about. PS5 finally got official Discord support, which is great. Way to finally catch up, Sony. I think it's weird because Sony invested directly into Discord, I want to say a year or 2 ago, and we're just now getting the support, but it's been on Xbox for some months now. So strange, but hey, that's cool. The PS5 finally has native Discord chat support. Super cool. Finally, good to see that you can join Discord voice chats from a console as well, no matter what you're playing on, except Switch, because, I mean, that doesn't support it anyway. But, yeah, it's really great. All right, also, today, Square Enix and Xbox, it's on Xbox, the store, Square Enix has their Spring Forward sale, which has a ton of Square Enix games discounted. You should check it out. Pretty good deals on some Final Fantasy titles, and personally some Kingdom Hearts titles, which I still need to pick up the Xbox versions, but I haven't yet. All right, let's get into some bigger stuff. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 2 launched last week, and that's really cool. The new stuff looks good. Looks like they're adding some decent gameplay changes. Looks like you can grind on rails, which looks like the equivalent of using like the zip lines in Apex. It speeds up the gameplay a little bit, makes the movement a little more fluid. Supposedly, there's a first-person mode coming to the main game, and I think that's going to be a nice touch because if you like playing third or first-person, hey, you got a toggle now. Options are never a bad thing, but I wonder if the first-person or third-person players will eventually have an advantage. I know with third-person, you can kind of peek around corners a little bit, but hey, maybe some people just would rather play in first-person. This guy. But unfortunately, they have dropped support for Windows 7 and 8. You have to have Windows 10 or above to play Fortnite now. Kind of makes sense. 7 and 8 no longer officially supported by Microsoft. There's no updates, unless there's like some major security thing. And even then, that would be unlikely. So games will stop supporting older OSs. It's bound to happen. The official recommendation from Epic, if you have a Windows 7 or 8 PC and want to play Fortnite, play it on GeForce Now. Optionally, you can play it on Xbox Cloud as well. So, you'll have to stream it if you want to keep playing Fortnite on your old PC. My question now, though, is when would Xbox One, PS4, or Switch be officially unsupported by Epic Games? At what point does it become unfeasible for them to keep adding features and developing that version of the game? Specifically, the VCR old style Xbox One that just has issues. And, a lot of games that had been released for it in the last few years, that's the worst version. And there's no getting around that. I mean, it's an old system. It came from a time when Microsoft was doing some weird stuff between Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. It's not the best hardware, and it wasn't at the time. And so definitely now, like, let's move on. Get yourself an Xbox One S or One X if you want a better experience on an older Xbox. Anyway, Epic Games is likely going to drop support for those eventually, and it'll make a big deal. People will get upsetty about it, and It's going to happen. But, you know, be ready for that. All right, let's move on. Speaking of Xbox stuff, Microsoft signed another deal related to Activision games before this deal has even finished. They will be bringing PC games to a service called Boosteroid, which I had never heard of until today. It's a Ukrainian-based cloud gaming service. Basically, PC games that Xbox has first party will be available on this service at some point in the future, which will include Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard titles once that deal goes through. Kind of neat to see more options for people to stream their PC Xbox games. It's a weird statement, but Xbox isn't a platform, it's a service, right? So your Xbox service games will be available on a different service if you don't want to use xCloud or pay for Game Pass or any of that. That's another option. Pretty neat. I looked at it a little bit. I mean, you know, it's not Google Stadia. It looks like they actually care about their product. But yeah, that's what it is. All right, let's talk about the Wii U and the 3DS. You officially have less than 2 weeks to buy stuff from the 3DS and Wii U eShop before they close it forever. You will not be able to purchase new things from the eShop as of March 27th. It's been a long time coming. If you have old hardware, cool. If you don't, you don't. I don't. I have a Wii U, but there's nothing I really want to buy on it. But I would say if there's anything you wanted to get to purchase, you have until then to do it. You will still be able to download your previously purchased games and things from those eShops. Going forward, you can't buy anything new. They're turning off purchasing altogether. Kind of unfortunate. I wish there was a better way to like transfer these licenses forward. They're tied to your account. Supposedly they always will be, but there will never be like a 3DS emulator or even a Wii U emulator available on Nintendo systems. I just don't see that happening. You know, it's not going to be Nintendo Switch Online Wii U games. I don't think that will happen at all. That's a lot of effort that Nintendo's going to have to make. And plus with the gamepad and everything, it just won't work. You know, I don't see that happening. But speaking of the Wii U, the 10 of you that might still be playing on a Wii U, if there are 10 of you left at all, look into running Homebrew to soft mod your Wii U and take a backup of your NAND. You can Google all of those words and find out exactly what I'm talking about if you don't know what I mean. But basically, there's an issue if you have not turned on your Wii U in a while and you turn it on, you might get an error code that means the system memory is done. It's not coming back. You'll have to find some other way to play your Wii U. Looking at the replacement options, it's complicated. It would take, you would need to find a mod shop if you're not comfortable with soldering and modifying a console. I'm not very good at this stuff, and looking at it, I was just like, no. So I do need to dig out my Wii U and turn it on personally, but yeah, this is kind of an issue. I don't know how widespread it is, but we are seeing more people kind of dig their Wii U's out, which I would like to verify that mine works because that's the only way I have to play Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD until I figure out an emulator situation for Wii U on PC, I guess. But yeah, definitely check that out. That's kind of important if you value your hardware. There are things you can do to fix it that, again, require hardware replacement. But the best thing you can do that if it does happen and you want to keep it working, take a backup of your Wii U's memory, essentially, and do it. You have to do it through the Homebrew soft mods. There's lots of apps available, or what are they called on Wii U? Anyway, there are a lot of apps to do it on Wii U. So definitely take advantage of that while you still can, if you can. If you're not comfortable doing that, find somebody who's willing to help you. That does it for this week's episode of the Game News Show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for checking it out. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe and like and do all the cool things that help the channel grow. Appreciate you. Let me know, are you worried about your Wii U? Did you buy one and does it still work? Let me know in the comments. And we're going to shift over to playing some Halo Infinite. See ya.